No, it's Clive Rocksinger here. This has been an interesting journey, this thing. This started a long time ago, making these clips up. And these button batteries are a constant problem with me. This is actually for my guitar. And my guitar takes button batteries. My new electric acoustic ukulele takes button batteries. Scales take button batteries. And of course they're all different. This is 2 out of one of my calculators. And of course this is 2 out of something else. And they're all different sizes. So this, I wanted to make a clip to be able to lock the lid in place. And I had somebody suggest doing it the easiest way. Yeah, but that's not design. Design is about customising it to the way you want it. I bought a nibbler, and the idea is I'm going to actually be reinforcing these things with metal plates, and it's going to be screwed on or glued onto the PLA, and it'll still have the PLA look, but it'll have the strength of metal. So it might be aluminium, it might be steel, and I'm going to try and find a way of laminating the steel and the PLA together to give it strength and be able to reduce the size of these things. But this process, what I'm finding with design is that every time you change one thing, you change half a dozen other things, and it's really, really difficult. One of the problems I had with this is I had the function, then I had to try and build a box around it, and that was really, really hard, because it's like, you know, you can't. Oh, you could probably buy a book to show you how to design things, but they're going to be talking about stupid stuff that has, you know, nothing to do with anything. I had to butcher that to make it work. I couldn't get the lid on because it had a hook on there, and I had to break that off to make it work. It did actually work. I can actually get that to work, and that does slide out, but you've got to take a screwdriver to it. This one here worked, but again, all sorts of problems. It's got a recess in that box section there. That kind of worked, but as you can see, look at the contraption that you've got in there. It's quite complicated. There's a lot of stuff going on in there, a lot of dimensions. You've got to get everything exactly right. Then I found that I needed to bolt things on. I was fixing everything in place, and I needed to adjust it. So I created this, which has got it's numbered 1, 2, and 3, and I had to change the height of that bit there. And so I made 1, 2, and 3. Then I found out that I needed to actually pivot that whole assembly around. This one at the back of it, it's got the screws on it. So this in actual fact was an extremely good design. That there is absolutely excellent, but see how it falls down there? So these ones here they're in different positions, where that one's, you know, 5 points up and this one's 10 points up. That's why I numbered them. And of course, when I did all that, it fixed it in place. Then I realised there was you could put it on one way and put it on in reverse and put it on the other way. So you can either have it mounted like that, or you can put that plate on the other side. And so this is constantly, you know, 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards all the time. So what I've done now is I've designed this, and it's, as you can see, it's got a pivoting base. And now that I've thickened the base, I'm going to probably have problems with that, and see how far down the bolt holes are. So that, because that's a lever, that's going to have a lot of pressure on that, and that's putting pressure on these things at the bottom here. So that's actually not a very good design, and so I really want to have a hole probably up around, you can see the cursor there, up around here somewhere, a tiny little screw, just to keep it strong. But it may have to be recessed, and luckily that's thick enough to do that. But the accuracy you've got to get with this is just insane. And navigating in Blender is something you really got to learn. The very, very first thing is you've got to learn how to do this. You got top, you got left, you got your front, and I can't hit shift and control, but you've also got halfway controls, and also when you're in different modes it tends to do different things. But the bottom line is this: you've got to keep developing this. You know, this is so simple, but this is my design, and I like that. I've impressed myself with that. That's my design. and at a later date I can make that out of metal and laminate it and make that very, very thin. And what I also did was I was using, see how the thing in there is PLA, the actual thing that was pushing on the spring, that centre thing in there. And what I did now, I actually did it by accident, is I made this one out of metal, where it's actually a screw head. And so that makes it a lot stronger. It's not pushing on PLA, that's pushing on the coil spring. These are the pegs, and of course what will happen now is now the local Coles have found out that I'm using Coles pegs in my designs. I'll discontinue that. They do that with the batteries. They don't sell the rechargeable batteries at Coles here anymore. As soon as they find out that I'm using it for my designs, they discontinue it. But all I'll do is I'll find the supplier over in China. Yeah, I can do that because I'm not a business. I'll just find out who actually makes them. Somebody will tell me. They'll have it probably written on the back of it. Here we go. What have we got? They'll have it written on the back who the manufacturer is. You get in contact with the manufacturer. The only thing is if I want more teaks, I'll probably have to buy 50,000 of them. But oh well, I might be able to work something out. I might have some rejects I can have. I only need the bloody springs out of them. They might even sell me some springs. And they can often do that too. If you get in contact with the wholesaler, they might have 10,000 and I might be able to buy them cheap. But it's only actually the springs I use. And if you want to pull the springs out, you just get a screwdriver. Get a screwdriver around that loop there and just pull up, and it's actually just clipped in there. So they're very, very handy little springs, and they're like they're gold coloured and they're really, really cool looking. And that's the design of the base, what it looks like, and that's now got a round base on that, which makes it really cool. So this is getting quite advanced, but every time I change one thing, I change up a dozen other things. Still struggling with this, but it's coming along nicely. Clive Rock Singer, over and out.